Which has not happened in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You know, we had Sol, we had Link, you know, we had some other ones that really did great. We had Ethereum, but you know, again, when you think about Ethereum was the one that it bottomed in June of last year, right? And so right when, you know, at this point here is where Ethereum bottomed and it's continued up. That's been the low, right? And we had the extra shakeout here, the terminal shakeout for Bitcoin in November. So, you know, everybody's kind of like, oh, you know, doom and gloom for Ethereum and whatnot. But the fact is, it was rallying before, you know, it led. He's rallying before Bitcoin here. And so I don't see anything wrong with it at all. I see people just kind of being people and you know, emotions and not really understanding what's going on. But I think overall, I think the markets are just kind of a lot of these that haven't necessarily rallied really strong yet. I think they're starting to find bottoms in here. I wanted to talk about Ape real quick here because Lord knows that thing just kept on going, right? I mean, if we zoom out here, there's Ape. I mean,
I love when we talk about it. It is laughable. We say, look at these big moves in altcoins. Then you zoom out and it's like, you can't even see it.
Yeah, you know, we waited here, but you can see, you know, high volume node right here. We got this dip down here on the weekly. We got this bullish divergence right here on the weekly coming up at the swing low with that pin bar candle and huge rally up. I mean, I think that's probably the bottom there for Ape. Locally here, I'm just looking for it. If we can get a breakout above 1.398, I'm looking up here around 1.669 locally as a target. And I think if we get that, I think we just kind of pull on back here, kind of to where we're at here, about $1.30, $1.28 around there. And then we just rally up higher from there as well. So, you know, probably something along the lines of, I don't know, maybe up here toward 360 or so would be a next one. So just kind of up here toward that R2 pivot on the daily, pull back down toward the pivot, and then rally up here to about $3.60, which, as you can see, is this great little support resistance area right there. So, you know, if Ape is bottoming, I mean, I think, you know, it's probably a lot of the market is looking the same way there, right?
When the completely worst dog shit garbage starts pumping, you know, I'm just kidding. Ape actually, you know, for those who actually follow Bored Apes and believe in NFTs, might have a lot more upside potential, at least than like outright scammy meme coins.
Yeah, exactly. You know, at least we've got a bounce at the very least for Ape. You know, I think we should be at least looking up for a while. You know, is it going to hit a new all-time high? We'll see. But right now,
most things never do versus Bitcoin.
Right,
so,
exactly.
It might on the dollar pair, but most of these, it's very hard to beat Bitcoin long-term after a cycle. So that'll be interesting. Yeah.
But I like this Ethereum Classic here. For those that don't know, you know, it is the original Ethereum. It is the one, you know, the one we all watch is the branched one where they rolled it back. But man, ETC, everybody loves to hate on it. You know, we did good on the rally here up to this 100 plus, and it's come back here. But you notice right here, this support that we had back here in June of last year. You know, I mean, it's just this amazing area of support resistance right here. Rallied up strong, pulled back, and then we see all this volume. Now, if we look here on this pullback, when you get down toward the low here and here and here, that's where your volume starts picking up. So you've got this buying kind of going on in those areas as you get to the lows, and significantly here as it tried to push down, you just let this long wick went sideways, and now we're breaking out higher. So, I mean, you should be looking up on that. We're about to break through this, this descending resistance from September of last year. I think initially we easily have a target here at $21.80. But I think we go beyond that. We hit $41.37, and then I think we're up here at around 108.54. And I do think it breaks out. You know, if Ethereum's breaking out, you know, ETC should follow with it. And so I think it's just a great setup here on this weekly. How clean this was. High volume node right here, getting in through that, get ready to pop out higher.
Yeah, I want to really quick talk about that ETH BTC chart, just something worth pointing out, because this can be sort of a bellwether for what's happening with the market. First of all, I think we've seen, whether you like ETH or not, I don't really care. I'm not going to speak to that, but I do. It does feel like there's been an uptick in max FUD against ETH, sort of the same narratives that we see in the cycle. the merge failed, whatever,
Yeah.
none of it worked. It's not proceeding. It's still expensive. All those things. I don't give a shit about that. But looking at the chart here, this is the fourth time ever that it's actually hit oversold on the weekly in RSI. Just does not happen very often. And actually, it's barely a tick. I think this is actually, except for maybe right here, is the lowest it's ever been on weekly RSI for oversold. So I don't care how you feel about it emotionally. You don't have to trade it. You don't have to touch it. You don't have to believe it's a great long-term investment. But I would say it maybe is giving a signal that it can still go down, by the way, but that relatively soon there is going to be a pop and an opportunity, whether you believe it or not, but as a trader to make some money, probably getting long ETH, especially if you think that Bitcoin is going to continue up in that period.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's happened here that didn't happen back when GBTC hit the low, back when Facebook hit the low, back when, just all these, right? Solana hit the low. And every one of these, I kept saying, listen, and I felt like a broken record. I was like, this is the sentiment. People come out here, new traders, they come out here, social media, and they're like, oh, yeah, everybody in my feed is bearish or bullish. And so that means it's this. No, what you want is what you're hearing now. This, where it's just absolutely everywhere. Everybody's kind of given up on it. It can't possibly rally. It has to go into nothingness. This is the time where it's usually marking the lows in the charts. Again, it was Bitcoin at 15.5. It was Solana at $8-9 there. It was Link on the drop back there this summer when it dropped below the range, $5. Facebook on that big move down, which is basically retraced everything now. GBTC at its low, everything. I kept saying, listen, this is the time, buy. And then, people didn't really listen, but it's hard to, because you're emotional, right? You're emotional and everybody's, oh my God, the sky is falling. That's such a big thing with social media. Every time something happens, the sky is falling. But once you've been through it, sometimes, and you're really paying attention, you start to notice those are the actual sentiment, indicators that you're looking for. And not the algo done, algo driven. These are the accounts you should pay attention to on social media things, so yeah, I think Ethereum is probably going to rally up here. Could it drop down a little bit lower? Sure, it could. Ethereum, Bitcoin, sure. But I think overall it's probably much closer to a rally than not at this point. And I think when it does, it's going to catch a lot of people on surprise.
I've been watching the dollar at all. Actually, I just happened to bring it up. Someone said it was going parabolic in the chat. So I decided to look. I don't know what people's definition of parabolic is, but this ain't it. But it does look like the dollar is actually breaking out, kind of had this bull flag here. It's pushing up. But interestingly, this seems to be an everything rally. SPY is up at the same time. QQQ I've got here way up at the same time. Usually you don't see the dollar rallying alongside stocks. So sort of maybe this is one of those weird FOMC day scenarios, but a bit surprised to see that.
Well, again, as I always point out, they don't always, it's not like, the second one turns, Bitcoin turn, or the second the dollar, the DXY turns, then stocks turn or something. There's always some overlap in there, and as people are changing money in and out, right? Right here, we're still kind of, we had that initial target right up here. If we do break out higher, we got another target up there about 108.6 or so. No big deal at the end. At the end of the day, we're looking at, we basically hit a 50% retracement. So I'm looking at this as a 1, and then an A, a B, and a C here as a 2. But that's even if we break out here. We haven't even broke out here yet from that swing high back there beginning of last month. So worst case scenario, we move up here a bit. 70.5 is 110.5. 78.6 is 111.68. Still very valid wave 2 targets. But again, big picture is still, nothing's changed here. It's still the same thing that I've been talking about, seems like forever and a day. Looking at potentially a 1-2 here. But if we did happen to get up toward the top of this range, I'd start considering the idea that we still have one more push higher to about 125 or so to finish out that wave C of B there, and then we get the move down. But until we do, if we're getting rejected here, this is just 1, 2, 3 down here at around 75. And most people have a hard time seeing that, have a hard time accepting that. But, everybody had a hard time accepting that this was the low down here when I was talking about that, gave that 114, 115 target. Again, we're humans. We're full of emotions. Most of the time, we don't even recognize that we're acting emotionally. And so as a trader, that can be really difficult to make money with because you have to recognize when it's going. If you're trading emotionally, you're going to lose money, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else that you're looking at the moment?
Let me see here. I might have let me see here. I've got let's back over here. I do have Gala. Gala looks kind of interesting here. So Gala did this big move back down. It retraced more than Ape did. But as you can see here, we've kind of got this range right here. We have the dip below the spring here. We got the volume on the breakout, large candle spread, large volume. So looking for us to break out higher here. That gives me this target up here at around 6 to 7 cents area up here as initial target. And I think if we hit that, honestly, I will probably pull back, but I think we break out higher as much. But for now, I think we do a bit of a pullback here, and then we look for this rally breakout higher and kind of head up toward there.
Yeah.
This was something I hadn't heard about, but I just saw the chart. WEMIX USDT. It's on KuCoin. Never heard of it.
We're deep down the curve now. I like it though. It means that there's some markets actually. WeMix. I think that's something that DJs do. Go ahead.
Exactly right. With a speech impediment, a WeMix.
Yeah.
I think if we break out above the swing high here at 1.3198, I think we break that. I think we're probably looking up here about 1.868 on that. So a little bit more local target there. But I'm sorry.
All I can think about when you just said that is the Princess Bride. Marriage. Oh no, I mean, excuse me. Oh God, my brain not working. Not wait, you guys know. Anyways, Spaceballs.
There you go. Baseball.
That's it, true of the WeMix.
Yeah, EGLD here is something we've talked about before, and I was looking for a rally up out of this green area here, and we've gotten that. We've got a strong volume spike expansion here as we broke out big candle spread through the Bride resistance there. Yeah, so I think we kind of continue up higher, at least to $38. And then I think if we hit that, obviously we're going to just kind of keep on going up here toward 51, and then breakout there really kind of gets us on this move through all this here up there potentially toward 130 on that. So again, I think a lot of these are starting to get those bottoms done and starting to get some rallies off them. So yeah, I don't worry about a whole bunch of the, what's talked and what's going on. And, everybody talks about supply and all this other stuff, but it's funny because the people are talking, I don't think they've paid attention. It doesn't have a lot. I mean, look at XRP, right? Look at the supply out there of XRP, and it rallied up there, well over $2.50, $3 back there, right? No, it's not possible. It's not possible, and yet it did, right? So I think people worry too much about metrics that don't really matter a whole lot when you're in a speculative market here. People are buying because they expect it to go up and sell it to somebody else at a higher price.
I'll take it. I'm just mad at myself. I'm on so little sleep that I questioned the Princess Bride quote, which was correct. Obviously, it is the prince marriage is what brings us together today. But there is a great wedding scene in Spaceballs also at the beginning where he's like, "What holy match?" He's like about to say "holy match." He's holy shit. Yeah. Right. Anyways, two great classic scenes from our younger years of
classic movies there.
But the Princess Bride one is definitely better. Guys, everybody follow TX West Capital on Twitter. Check out his Discord. Amazing stuff, as always.
Not Discord anymore.
Sorry. What is it now?
We got a new platform, man. Members.texaswestcapital.com. It's even better in Discord, man. It's absolutely fantastic.
Wow. A new custom platform in which you can interact with Chris and Fibbo Swanee.
Yeah,
I see you over in the chat, man. We got to get you back up here. Maybe one of these Wednesdays we'll do we'll bring the whole team together again. Awesome, guys. I got to run. Get ready for Twitter Spaces and